Good morning, Service Alliance community. How are you all doing out there today? How are you, Jason?
I am finer than a hair hanging around on a biscuit.
All righty then.
Yeah,
I don't know what that really means.
I heard that a few weeks back, and it's literally what I've been telling people, and I get so many laughs off of that. It's funny. So it works. It works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. So
how are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. I'm actually doing great. I had a great weekend decompressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went down
to
the river, went camping Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and
every time I hear it,
any fish.
Even that part just reminds me of the Farley scene. I'm sailing down by the river
in a van. That's the best scene ever.
That is. I put my phone down under my pillow last night, and when I woke up, it was gone, and there was $1 sitting there in its place. It was really kind of weird. So I guess I must have got visited by the Bluetooth fairy last night.
Okay. The Bluetooth fairy.
I haven't heard that. Fairy.
Okay.
Yeah. You break that one down. And
I would think that, with inflation, you would have got at least $10 for it.
True. Yeah. I guess. I know. I got nothing.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Yeah. Today we're talking about putting systems in place to effectively manage your growing team of techs.
Yeah. Chaos to control.
Yep. So
it sounds like a chaotic episode.
Yeah, it kind of does. But we're going to reduce the chaos. Going to boost accountability and improve performance with this episode. We're gonna try.
All right, I got another one.
I was waiting. As soon as I saw you smile, I was like, "Oh no, he's."
This is actually pretty good. What do you call an anti-vax nanny? Mrs. Doubtfire.
All right, that one's a decent one.
Yeah, that's pretty good too. All right. Anyway.
All right. Well, in this episode, if your team's growing faster than your systems, chances are you're feeling some pressure.
That never happens.
Missed appointments, dropping the balls, unhappy customers. So let's fix that. Today we're going to go over a little simple framework to bring order to your technician team. So you said you wanted to do the prayer, so let's open in prayer.
Sounds like a plan. Father God, just give us wisdom as we embark on this journey today of managing and leading our growing teams in our businesses. In the midst of some days what is a lot of chaos, help us just to find some clarity and direction. Guide us as we put in these systems in place that foster accountability, reduce chaos, enhance performance. We ask that you just bless our efforts to build strong, cohesive teams where each member of that team thrives and contributes their best. And may our leadership be just a beacon of stability and inspiration, and guiding our teams towards greater efficiency and success. And above all, we pray that people see your love through our actions. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brother.
Yep.
All right. So our verse is Proverbs 11:14. It says, "Where there is no guidance, all people fall. But in an abundance of counselors, there is safety." So good leadership starts with character. You need to be wise, humble, and just. So, with that being said, how many of you out there have growing teams? How many of you are scaling up? How many of you are either just embarking on this or you've been through it all, or maybe you're still going through it all? You I'm sure if you are, you know the chaos, right, Jason? I mean,
Yeah.
like you guys went through this in the past few years, like scaling up.
Oh, like last week.
Yeah. I'm in the process of scaling up.
Shoot, yesterday. Just
and
yesterday.
yeah, and right in the middle of this right now. It's like I've done all this before, but since I niched down, everything's changed. So I almost have to start over, and not starting over total scratch, but I have to redefine everything, So what does that look like? It's kind of organized chaos,
Yeah.
at the moment. And it's like no standard operating processes, you don't inconsistent communication. Communication is everything. Techs going rogue or doing their own thing in their own way, and owners constantly putting out fires. I mean, we talked about this just the other week.
Yeah.
Are you the CEO or are you the firefighter?
Yeah.
So
I asked Chat. Oh, there's a little bit of an echo. That's weird. I asked Chat a funny description of what chaos looks like in a team, and the response and a way to resolve it. Chaos in a growing team looks like a three-legged race where everyone's tied to the wrong person, running in different directions, and somehow one guy's carrying a microwave for no reason. Meetings turn into group therapy sessions, text threads look like a game of broken telephone, and every urgent task is labeled top priority until nobody knows what's actually urgent anymore. The resolve? The chaos ends when you stop the race, cut everyone loose, and politely ask whoever brought the microwave to just go put it back. Then with some clear systems in place, everyone can finally run the same race and win. So
yeah, I think that's a really good, description of how it is. Because unless everyone knows the same goal, the same objective, and you're running towards the same thing, you're all just going to trip over each other.
True. And who wants to repair a microwave? Just go throw that sucker away.
They're cheap enough now. Just replace it.
Get a new one.
All right. So I've always said, start with the end in mind and then reverse engineer it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So start with the end, look where you are, and then figure out what has to happen for everything in between for you to get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did is I set a clear org chart.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't matter if I was wearing 90% of those.
Yes.
Org chart.
Organizational chart.
Yes. So I wear a lot of hats, as any business owner does. So I still set out that org chart, and my name was in a lot of the boxes, right? So you still have to make that clear, because eventually you have to start replacing yourself. You have to buy back your time. And I'm in that position right now to where I have to buy back my time. I'm in the process of replacing pieces of myself. And it's a very good feeling when you can do that.
Yeah.
Because when you're the technician and you're the one that's actually doing all the work, and you can't grow your business. You just cannot free up time to think or grow your business. You're too busy in the daily grind. So you have to start doing that. And whether that's using a CSR, outsourcing it, or getting another technician, or, an office manager, or, someone to manage your techs. Mm-hmm. There's always something that you can do to replace yourself. Doing your own books. I hate doing my books. Outsource that stuff. You know, all those little things that you can get rid of, get rid of.
Yeah.
Whatever's eating up your time, start there and start making a list and prioritize so that you know exactly what's taking up your time. We had a challenge. Well, I believe it was last week it was 2 weeks ago when we were talking about efficiency and time management. We had a challenge. Write down where your time is going every hour of every day. Just write it down. Where is your time going? What are you spending your time on? And it's all those little squirrels, like we said, don't get caught in the squirrel trap.
Yeah.
And all those little things are where you're going to start attacking those first and finding ways to get rid of that. So you need to look at that 80-20 rule, focus on the 20% that's making your business money and eliminate all the rest as much as you can. Yeah. That there's 80% of the stuff that you don't need to be doing. So what kind of standards do you, what's that?
I was gonna say, you want to say hello to a few people jumping on there? We got Saul, Rob, Jojo. Howdy, y'all.
Saul. Rob Jones.
What was your question there?
Anybody else want to say hi? Pop on in here.
Howdy.
Saul wants to know if there was frozen pizza in your microwave.
We didn't freeze the pizza. We actually grilled. Shanda fixed a really nice flatbread pizza on the grill Saturday, I think it was, and it was really good. So yeah, but we didn't freeze it. So yeah,
I think he was talking about in your
in the one we threw away. Yeah.
But anyway, all right.
What was the question again?
What kind of standards are we looking at that we need to start embarking down this road?
Yeah. Well, like you said, org chart, that was a good one. We literally just redid our org chart, which reminds me, we got to get that to Elaine to redo. But we redid our org chart last week. It's one of those things, you got to look at it occasionally. You may have 50 positions to fill in your business, and you're the one filling 99% of it. Well, that's okay. As you grow, you will find those people to fill those different seats. We've been there many times, both with the electrical business and with my office help. So I get it. We feel, like Mike said earlier, wear a lot of hats in business until you get to that point. But as far as standards, the typical stuff, your SOPs, your job intake. So a lot of that stuff can be automated nowadays, but your job intakes, your diagnosis, you can create an SOP for your evaluation. That's one of my things. Since 2004, I had an evaluation sheet that I always called it my above the line and below the line questions, things I wanted to ask during my, hey, just getting to know you phase. And then there's the other questions as I'm going along. So you can kind of standardize that more. Parts ordering. There's things that you can do if you're using a company like ServiceWorks, all that can be just automated and make your life a lot simpler. Customer communication. Now that's an easy one. Hire us. We'll take care of that for you. And then even with my office manager, there's things that you can do that's automation. So there's a few little plugs for us in this little bit right here. So that was good. Checklists. A lot of these CRMs today have checklists that you can incorporate and make sure that your techs or that you are doing what you want done on every call. So it standardizes things very, very well. Job closeout forms. Same thing on that sheet I was telling you about. I need to share that with you all somewhere. But it was a good one. On the back of it, it had things that technicians had to check off. Did you ask for a view? Did you ask to place a yard sign? Did you put a panel sticker on? Little things that we think about to us mean a big deal as an owner because it can mean a lot of repeat business. But to a technician, it's just another thing to have to check off. So you got to explain why those things are important. That little sticker on that electrical panel is one of the reasons I got a lot of repeat customers because they went to the electrical panel, or maybe that house sold, the sticker stayed on there. the new homeowners called me because they're like, well, yeah, I saw your electrical panel sticker, and so thought I'd give you a call. Oh, thanks. There's a discount on there, by the way, for calling you. Stuff works. Let me tell you, little bitty marketing pieces will work for a long time. So, record videos of how you want jobs done or how you want things done. I tell you one thing that always drove me nuts was how the lock was put on the box trucks. So I did a little short video one day. Here's how you put the lock on the box truck. Threw that out there to everybody, and it was in our. We used Dropbox, and so everybody had to check that they saw the Dropbox video of how to put the lock on the box truck. I know it sounds like a tiny thing, but if you put the lock on the wrong way instead of the right way, to get the key off and to get the lock off of it, it's a nightmare. It's one of those, hinge like the back of a U-Haul truck or the door that comes down. So little simple things that can actually save you, even if it's a few seconds of time every day. Those few seconds add up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how you brought up making those mini videos, because I'll tell you what, they help.
Yeah.
Like, you think that that's so stupid.
Yep.
And so trivial. And like, I shouldn't have to make a video of this because it's common sense.
You would think. Well, I did Tech Tip Tuesdays. We used to do that on Tuesday mornings. I'd send out a tech tip, just a little piddly stuff. And Shayna did one for my office help for a long time. I can't remember what those videos were called, but it was a Tuesday tip of the day or something like that. Again, a little short video. I've actually started back in with our team. Every day I get an email from Maxwell Leadership, and it's the leadership lesson. And so it's a link to their YouTube channel. That's a little short 1 to 2 minute video. And then there's a leadership lesson that goes on it. So today's leadership lesson was about communication. So every weekday I've been posting that in it's called our We Be Awesome Slack channel that everybody sees. Good morning, Andy. And I've been getting a lot of compliments. Man, I really appreciate those videos. Man, that's a really great video. Hey, that video today was really good. I'm not coming up with it. I'm just getting it from somebody else and passing it on. So you don't have to spend a lot of time doing this stuff or making this stuff up. Find somebody on YouTube that's doing these short videos like this, or a video that you want to have, and share it with your team. Oftentimes creating a video could just take way more time than somebody already has it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm in a Facebook group with a bunch of different agency owners in my space. And
wait, is Tom in there?
No, somebody posted a video, and I thought this was brilliant. He used to just see a video and he would send it to all his people.
Mm-hmm.
And, these videos could be up to an hour long or even longer in some cases. And he just found, a bunch of small things in the video that really he wanted his team to get as
Mm-hmm.
well. So rather than just sending them the video with just a couple little, hey, I thought this and this and this was interesting. What he's doing is he was taking it a step further and using AI to help him do this. And he would go to the YouTube video, pull out the transcript, and then he'd throw it into ChatGPT, and he would tell ChatGPT what, based on his notes from watching, he'd enter his notes in and say, hey, I'm going to share this video with my team, and this is what I want them to focus on.
That's cool.
Can you help me get the timestamps and everything from it?
Yeah.
So that they don't have to watch the entire video. They could just watch all these most important parts.
Mm-hmm.
And it would pull all that information out, and then he would just send them the link and copy and paste in that text.
That's cool.
And he said that it has drastically freed up his team's time from watching these long videos, and they can get the point right away of what he wants to get across. So, and he didn't have to create the video. It was quicker for him just to do it the way he was doing it. And it got the same point across. So
really neat.
I thought that was a really good thing, which could work for you guys with your techs. Obviously, if you find a video like this that's very insightful and Jason says something that you really like, you could say, hey, timestamp number so this
Yeah.
is where you go to find this and this and this. So it's a really neat way to do it. And I'd never thought about doing it that way before.
Yeah. That is. I like that. I'm like taking notes here on that.
It all goes back to the communication thing. It gets everyone on the same page. And I use Slack. Yeah,
Yep.
I know you guys use Slack for your team. Some people use different systems, but it doesn't matter what you use as long as you use something. Okay. And all your people are on the same page.
Yeah.
And, text groups, sometimes they're a little iffy. I would much rather use something like Slack where I can see the history much better and it's more searchable. And you can share things a little bit better, than you can with text messaging groups. Have a shared calendar for your team, not just for dispatch, but your entire team.
Yeah.
So that everybody knows what's going on. And, maybe tie in your scheduling to that so everybody knows where everybody's at and what's going on.
That makes a huge difference. Our
Yeah.
leadership team has that available. And so I can see Shayna's, Austin's, vice versa, but not just us, but, Shane and Heather, our client success coach and our team success coach, they can see our schedules as well. So if Shane needs to schedule a one-on-one with me, they'll do that through the app. And it also links up to my Google Calendar. So I mainly use my Google Calendar. I don't use the software calendar, but it syncs with that one. So everybody can still see if I put it on my work calendar, it still syncs up with it. So there's so many cool tools when it comes to calendars, share calendars.
Yeah.
So
there's so many cool tools, and nowadays everything can connect in some way or sync up with each other.
Yep.
That it just makes it fairly simple to do and integrate.
Yeah.
So what's our next thing is accountability. What do you got on accountability, Jason?
Wow. We have a lot of stuff with accountability in our business. However, let me try to get this to just where it's more important for a service company. KPIs, that's always the give and go to. What are you tracking for your technicians or for yourself or your business? Those are the things that you average ticket, of course, your closing percentage rates. I know with the appliance world, it's always that first time, what's it called? It's a
first time complete.
First time complete. Yeah. So I know that's a huge one. Customer reviews, how many reviews, service agreements. If you're doing service agreements, that should be no less than 25%. So 1 out of every 4 calls you go on, you should be closing a service agreement. Revenue, protect, as we mentioned. But so I think those are some key point ones. What about you as a business owner? What kind of KPIs are you tracking for yourself? I've got an app that I use that I started back a couple of weeks ago that I'm using, but it literally goes through and tracks. Let me open it up here. It's through an organization I'm with, of course, but it's something that it helped me to be a lot more accountable in my life back then. And for me, it's reading my Bible, prayer, investing in my marriage, investing in other relationships, exercising, nutrition, learning something every day. And when it comes to like finance or investments or business or whatever it may be, planning. So making sure I'm looking at my calendar and planning accordingly. Also adding gratitude, journaling, writing an affirmation. And then there's also tasks that I can put in here. So for me, these are KPIs that I'm tracking as a person, as a business owner, as somebody who wants to better my life with my spouse, with my close relationship. So it's it's been great for me. So those may be some ideals that you can use. What are some KPIs as you may need it in your own personal life? Get outside of the business world and look at your personal life. What are some things that you want to track on a daily basis to better yourself? So, one-on-ones. We have one-on-ones every week with every team member. Shane, our team success coach, does that now. And so weekly, he's having a 20, 30-minute meeting with every team member just to check in and listen. And from those meetings, we get so many cool ideas on how to possibly improve stuff or what's going well, what's not going well. So those one-on-ones with your team members are golden. And if it's just you and another guy in a truck, so be it. Go have lunch with them and just check in. If Mike and I were working in business together, and he was my technician or vice versa, at least once a week, I'd be going to dinner.
Be the boss.
Yeah, I'd be going to lunch with Mike and be like, hey, checking in with you. How you doing? How is the calls going? And, so that's definitely something that I would incorporate if you're not. Team meetings, I don't know if we touched on that or not, but we have weekly team meetings. And even with my electrical business, I do Tuesday morning trainings. For me, Tuesday morning was the best morning. Mondays are always hectic and chaotic. You do training on Tuesday, they start putting it in place, and it's in their mind the rest of the week so they can improve. If you do training on a Wednesday or a Thursday or Friday, 100% no.
Definitely too late.
Wednesday at the latest, but Tuesday mornings I've always found to be the best day to do technician trainings.
So, nobody's paying attention Monday mornings.
Yeah, especially in our business here. Mondays are usually the most busiest days. We get the most calls on Mondays, and Fridays would be a close second. So,
yeah, that's really good. So, do you got any stories, like a real story of a business owner that you know of that went from relative chaos to actual controlled growth? Like besides yourself.
Well, do we want this to be about my office help? Or because the first person that comes to mind is EJ. EJ's been for us just a shining star. But man, we've got other people in this group that watches as well. So it's not always about EJ. But it's always funny because I go back to the first time that EJ even used this. Him and his wife, they were going to go on vacation, and so they were just using us. She was like, "Okay, we can use them while we're gone, and that's it." And by the time they got back on vacation, she was like, "I never want to have to answer the phones ever again." So it had relieved
that time.
Yeah, it relieved that much stress off her. So, but just from that, there's I've seen EJ and his business grow so much and incorporate so many processes and procedures. Jenny and Joe's another one that, man, talk about a huge change, and they still got a lot of growth to go. We all do. I say, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so one story, no, in this community, there's story after story after story of successes and wins.
Absolutely.
So I can't say just one story.
Just yesterday, and they're in the process of growth, and I'm having these conversations with these people, and I'm like, okay, well, what's your next step? What's your plans? And then they're all excited and they're telling me, I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. How do you strategically systemize this? And they're like, oh, I never thought of that. I'm like, well, you can't just run into the fire without a fire hose. That's essentially what you're doing. You're running into the fire without a fire hose. And if you don't have that fire hose to control that fire, you're going to get burned real bad.
Yeah.
So when you're on that growth path, you need you need to understand there are some protections that you need to have in place.
Yeah.
Whether it's just like a firefighter, he's got the hose, but he's also got, a helmet, he's got a face covering, he's got his whole setup. And that protects him. So you need to have certain things in place before you even go fight the fire that you're about to create.
Yeah.
Because there will be fires when you start growing. You can't get around it. It just happens.
Yeah.
So I think
I got another one in here, Andy Murrow. He's a local exterminator. Third generation business. It was his grandfather that started the business, just like ours was Shana's grandfather. And I remember Andy, whenever he took over, it's one of those things. Each generation, we hope that is going to be the latter will be greater than the former, right? And I think Andy has taken it's Egyptian exterminating in Marino, and taken it to another level. He's incorporated House Call Pro into his business, got a CRM set up. He's growing the business, bookkeeping. He's brought his wife into the business, another good power couple. So there's another good success story right there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Saul just commented he had clients attend MSA conference, and they took all the business classes they could, and they're eating it up out there. It's like a light switch was turned on.
Yeah.
The thing with conferences, you can go there and get excited, but if you leave there without a plan, it doesn't mean anything, right? So when we speak at conferences, like we really want people to leave with a plan, a written, well-organized plan for what you're going to do. What are you going to implement? When? With who? And I think it always comes down to the what, why, who, and when. And no matter if it's from a conference or videos you watch, things you read, some other trainings that you go to, wherever you're getting your inspiration, start with the what, why, who, and when, and write that down. And that's your plan. And then once you make that list of all those different things, prioritize, organize that list. There's a lot of things that you can do. So I definitely think that's a good framework for starting and organizing everything that you want to do. Got some challenges for you. Write one SOP this week. Find out what you need an SOP on and write one SOP. That's all you got to do. Just write one. Go out there and get it done. If you've got a multi-tech operation, schedule a weekly team meeting. Okay. Do it in person. If anything, do it in person.
I will say this Wednesday night, we have our quarterly meeting. It's an all hands on deck. It's mandated that they have to be there. We pay them for an hour. We actually have some snacks and stuff, but it's our quarterly meeting. So they see we keep things open with our team members. So if you have nothing else to do and you're in the Southern Illinois area, you want to come hang out with us at our quarterly meeting, you are welcome to come. I'll just throw that out there for everybody. So come see what a good quarterly meeting tends to be. For us. Yeah. I mean, always improve.
And doing it face to face, when your techs are out there and you got multiple techs and they don't see each other and they only talk to each other on the phone, it's always good to get together.
Yeah.
And if you do that more on a consistent basis, everyone's better in tune with each other. You're more on the same page. The culture is going to be so much better. So work on that. Make sure you got a basic KPI dashboard with your main metrics, and start with 3, maybe 5, and then go over those in your meeting. It doesn't have to be a bitch session. It could be an accountability session as well, but start with those KPIs, get everybody on the same page. Things get easier over time. So if you're not doing this, start doing that. And like Jason said, have those one-on-ones and set clear expectations.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Hey, before we go, I got another story to tell. You know me, I went to go see a psychic. But the psychic, she was in a bad mood. So then I tried a clairvoyant. But the clairvoyant was a little grumpy. He's actually really grumpy. You know, all in all, I'm just trying to find a happy medium.
Nice. I like that one. That
Hey,
one,
if you
that one's a little better.
That was a little bit. Hey, if you like what you saw today, be sure to click like, share, subscribe to, pay the fee, which is free. Click like, share, subscribe. Appliance Marketing Pro, Service Alliance Group, and My Office Help. And yeah, hope you found something. We got a mastermind coming up, I see.
Yes, May 17th. Zach's going over sales negotiations, different tactics, maybe some new things that you haven't thought of. So if you're an all access member of Service Alliance Group, make sure you're there. We had a great session this past couple weeks, and it was on property management. It was one of the best we've ever had. So we've got some content coming to our masterminds that's just really, really good, really, really good stuff this year. So make sure you're in our all access membership. If you're not, go over to servicealliancegroup.com and check that out. And we will see you next week. And we're talking about something along the lines of sales. So it'll be in line with the sales negotiation. So we'll see you next week, everyone.